This is what I'm wearing next time.
Please have a look.
Wear that.
Have a look. What is it like? It's like Supreme.
Don't give it away. Oh,
That's cool. Who did that? What,
Somebody ripped it off.
ripped off Supreme.
Supreme, yeah.
Why,
My kids used to like that.
why when you put up pictures of you on Instagram, does everyone go, that hits hard, Otmar? What's that from?
No, it is.
It means he hits hard when he's in the pub.
No, this picture goes really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that means
it's
Instagram talk. It's a good picture.
It's good.
That's it.
But it's obviously a trendy thing that people do.
How do I know
no
that? You
idea
don't?
how that started.
Oh, because I'm old. Which of you know
I
why?
had to look it up.
Which of you know why they decided to have Swedish Grand Prix back in the 1970s? Which driver's popularity?
Was
Ronnie
that
Peterson.
big?
Ronnie Peterson.
The Oracle of F1.
Which former Beatle wrote a song about Ronnie Peterson? This
George
is like,
Harrison.
Oh my God, you are a Formula One geek. What was
you
the
know
song
what?
called?
I don't know. Norwegian Wood.
They were good-looking cars in the 70s, weren't they? Look at that. man.
Right, didn't it? So who's that? It's Jackie.
Yeah,
JYS.
that would be Ronnie, I guess.
Yeah.
Tyrrell, Ronnie Peterson, McLaren, and I don't know what that is.
What
is that?
I don't know. I don't recognize the sponsors either.
Could it be Hesketh?
Ooh.
Maybe.
All right, let's do it then. Welcome to episode 5 of High Performance Racing. Oh dear. Thanks for coming back
very
for
good.
another show anyway. Thanks to you for coming back for another show as well. We've got a lot to pack in. Memories of Canada. We're going to be previewing Canada today. We're going to be going deep on Sergio Perez. We lied to people in the last episode and told them we would talk about Sergio Perez.
And we
We
didn't.
never got around to it. So we're going to go deep on that today. An awful lot more. Listen, before we go any further, if you're enjoying High Performance Racing, please just do us one quick favour. Either hit subscribe on YouTube or hit follow wherever you're listening on the podcast player. Like 99.9% of the people that enjoy this show do not follow this show. Should they follow this show?
Yes.
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 Can you explain that to me?
Have you hit follow on the show? Have you subscribed?
Yeah.
You liar. Would you have any idea how to do that?
No.
No.
Does it cost money to subscribe?
Yeah.
It's free. It
All right, I'll
doesn't-
do
no,
it.
doesn't. The best thing is we have a little High Performance Racing WhatsApp group, and I put the link to the podcast and said, guys, can you please share this on your stories? Did you see his reply?
No.
He CC'd his assistant and said, I've no idea what this means. Please, can you do it for me?
I didn't know how to do it.
You're
you
a
did it.
Formula One race engineer. How can you not do it?
You wrote a load
Ask
of
your
words
kids.
that didn't say that. It was just
Waffle.
waffle, gobbledygook. So
Gobbledygook.
I looked at it and I said, I don't know what the fuck he's on about. So that's why I said, Molly, can you please do this for me?
Molly, can you?
The truth about
Can
Rob
you
Smedley.
translate this for
Yeah,
me?
can you translate this shite for me?
So anyone that follows Rob Smedley on Instagram is actually following Molly on Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Molly Seaborn.
Love
Brilliant.
that. We've got a few questions from the audience before we get going today. We had a really nice question. Oh, by the way, lots of hate for the chairs. They are comfy though, aren't they? They
Lots
look
of
weird.
what?
Yeah, I think
Hate for these.
they make me
Who
look
hates
bigger
it?
than I am because they're so small. But I'll work on that.
It's definitely the fault of the chairs.
It is.
It's definitely the fault.
That and the camera, that adds about 40
Why?
kilograms.
What? This means people do not like the chairs.
Yeah.
The color, the size,
I think everything.
the shape.
Yeah, the whole lot, yeah.
Come on, is this what people are commenting on?
Yeah.
Seriously, people
So-
are fucking
so-
commenting on the chairs.
Next time, they're going to comment on your shirts because I think the shirts are worse than the chairs. But
This is the high neck 70s vibe. I mean,
okay.
Oh, it is very high neck. I couldn't see it above the mic. Look at that. It's like a crew neck,
yeah.
like a polo neck.
Yeah. Like a polo neck.
In a word.
A question from at BCM70. I sat through the whole podcast and then Otmar unloads the dad joke at the end. As a dad, I feel inadequate after listening to Otmar's jokes. I need to lift my game. So dad jokes at the end of today's episode, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Great. Patrick Parisian, 1917, says, regarding the 2009 Brawn that you spoke about a couple episodes ago, while everyone was looking at the double diffuser, the real magic was the outwash front wing. This took almost half a season for other teams to match. Can you confirm that, Rob?
Confirm what, Rob?
Whether it did take, indeed, half a season
No.
for other teams to match the outwash front wing. What was the outwash front wing?
So the outwash front wing is when you have the front wing end plates, if I'm in the driving position and the front wing end plates kind of guide the air, outwards. It's called an outwash. And the reason for doing that is that you control what's called the wheel wake. So one of the biggest challenges for a Formula One aerodynamicist is to control the turbulent air that comes off the tyres. And in the early 2000s, I don't think it was Brawn. I think it was, credit where credit's due, I think it was more McLaren, and it was around 2005, 2006 that they started to outwash the front wing to control the wheel wake. Basically, what you're doing is you're pushing the air out. So cars going down the straight, you're pushing the air outwards, and that's dragging the turbulent air from the wheels, for what the tyres create. So 2009 was the wider front wing. It was a significantly wider front wing. So the wheel wake, you could control the wheel wake much more. Before that, the front wing end plate kind of come into the middle of the tyres, if you like. And then as it went wider, it had a bigger controlling effect on the wheel wake. And the diffuser became much more important as well, because what you're trying to do with this wheel wake is you don't want it disappearing down the back of the car and under the floor and destroying the aerodynamics. You want to keep the laminar flow, the non-turbulent flow underneath the diffuser, and the 2009 onwards front wing, which was that horrible wide thing, that just had more of an impact. So I don't think I would say Brawn probably understood the package earlier, but they understood the whole package earlier of the even with the double diffuser. So long answer, hopefully answers, what's he called? Parisian.
Patrick Parisian, 1917.
Patrick Parisian, 1917. Hopefully answers the question. Patrick, there is never a silver bullet in any Formula One car, including the double diffuser, including the outwash front wing. It's the whole package.
Okay. Right.
Still awake?
Ish. You still awake?
Yeah, I'm going to interrupt them next
Yeah,
time.
please. Please increase the amount of interruptions, especially when talking about front wing outwakes.
Outwash. Outwakes. Kind of a blend of everything. Front wing double diffusers.
You guys are going to be in Canada this weekend, so you're about to fly out there. Is it going to be just Mercedes and McLaren battling it out at the front? Are Ferrari going to be a distant third? Is anyone going to step forwards? Let's talk about what we're expecting this weekend at the Canadian Grand Prix.
So for me, and I think they will, bring up their upgrades to Canada, Mercedes, I think they'll take a step. And then, unfortunately, let's see what happens. I think the battle to watch there is George v. Kimi. I think George will go better. And if Kimi beats him in Canada, then he's got an even bigger mountain to climb.
Why do you think that?
It's the feeling that I get. It's not Miami. There are upgrades coming. George has been there more than Kimi has. He'll be good at it. It's a bit of a braking acceleration circuit. He'll be good there.
Yeah, and he was good last year.
Yeah.
Otmar has spoken a lot of sense again. I have to agree. I think that if you look at what happened in Miami, which wasn't a car that would be particularly suitable for Mercedes from what we've seen in the first couple of races. Not that it'd be a bad circuit, and everybody brought their upgrades and everybody made massive inroads. Mercedes was still in front. So on the presumption that the package that they bring, at least some of it works, that should give them a net, because they're not going to be the only people bringing upgrades, right? But we know that Mercedes have already declared they're bringing a reasonably big package. I think that will give them a net advantage. I think it is very much a power unit circuit. However, there is a bit of a nuance here that we go back to with the power units, is that even though we had some regulation changes around the power unit in Miami that helped, reduction in super clipping, stuff like that. So it kind of helped to have this silly imbalance that we were seeing in the first races, especially in Japan. Don't forget, when we go back to Canada, from the hairpin to the final chicane, there's a very long straight, and then after the final chicane, you've got the pit straight. So you're back to having this energy imbalance of how much energy you can deploy, and then you only get a little bit of harvesting at the chicane before you then have a very long straight again. It's not like Miami where you have series of corners where I can harvest, then a short straight, series of corners where I can harvest short straight.
Yeah,
so it's a bit more like Suzuka, so got to watch out for that. I think it
when you say watch out for it, what do you mean?
Well,
there could be big variation in velocities of the cars.
Yeah, huge
because
variation.
you could run out of battery in the mid straight.
Yeah, that's right. Like we were seeing in Japan, right? Like down the end of the straight, you've got like just this constant like yo-yoing or whatever. You know, I think they are terming it as that. The drivers where you manage to pass and then you get past and then you pass again and you get past, and so it goes until you can build a bit of a gap.
I chatted to one of the drivers the last few days. Not fair to name them, but one of the drivers at the senior teams, very famous driver. And I said, how are you really feeling about stuff? And he just said, if only you knew, and you will both know this, he said, if only you knew that for these engines there is sticking plasters on sticking plasters on sticking plasters on sticking plasters for us to get this right. And I said, is that the biggest issue? And he said, no, the biggest issue is that as a driver, when you put your foot on the accelerator, you want to know what's going to happen to the car, and we still don't feel like we're getting that.
Yeah, definitely you need that feedback. Formula One for me, though, is very, very good at quickly changing any regulation that doesn't quite work for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's those sticking plasters now, right? That's the constant, let's make it better.
So it's
But
not,
if you
so
have,
it's not necessarily a negative that there's sticking plasters.
No, because they're trying, right? You've come out with something that you think should be a bit better.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this. If you have enough time, then it isn't a stick. Then it's a root cause fix, and they will do that. Formula One is the best on the planet to make those changes to get it right, and they will.
Is there an argument that there's something actually fascinating about seeing teams trying to deal with this and seeing drivers trying to deal with this? And if you really are an elite team, if you really are a world-class driver, like this almost is an opportunity for you to prove that.
Yeah, totally. I think that for me, if I was still active in the teams, I would, assuming I was in a good team and surrounded by like good people, I would, as an engineer, I would relish this challenge because it's like an opportunity. And I would almost be, and I am actually now, I'm almost like perplexed by people moaning about it. I'm like, great, this is an opportunity. If I can just do like 5% better than the other teams, that's going to give me an advantage. Now, eventually, everybody catches up. And then everybody will be moaning that it's boring.
Yeah.
But right now,
then that opportunity's gone.
Yeah, and then the opportunity's gone.
In chaos, there's opportunity.
Yeah. So I think for me personally, I looked at, having been in, gone through many cycles of immature rules, new rule sets. There's always opportunity there, and there's always opportunity. It's great even when you go into the season and you think, shit, the car's not quite good enough, right? There's opportunity to catch up really quick. In a mature rule set where everything's saturated, you never catch up. And it's kind of like, you're destined. You start, if this was the fourth year of these regulations and you start 4/10 behind, you're going to really struggle to find net 4/10 on another team. Whereas now, like there's tons of opportunities, and like don't waste your energy moaning about it. Just get on fixing it.
Would you rather be 4/10 behind 4 years in, or 4 seconds behind 1 year in?
They're both quite big shit sandwiches to eat, but I think probably the 4 seconds in 1 year in.
How shit would you like it to be?
Yeah, I think both of them. I'm probably getting the sack.
So's the team boss. That'll get you both the sack. What
I remember VJ telling me once, this was great. I started with Force India at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that was quite late in the year back then. But our last race was Abu Dhabi. VJ, after the last race, I'm standing with him, and he said, Otmar, we just finished 9th in the championship. How much money do we get for that? Thinking, okay, we get 40 million. And he said, what's our budget going to be next year? And I said, about 95 million. He said, okay, so I've got to give you 55 million? I said, yep, you've got to come up with 55 million. He said, okay. That was our budget meeting. outside the hospitality unit in Abu Dhabi. And I thought to myself, 55 million, even if you're a billionaire, you do 10 years of that, that's 550 million. You're going to get sick of that.
Yep, 100%.
So I said to him later on, I said, VJ, I think it's a good idea for us to have a commercial department to start getting some income. And he looked at me and he said, you worry about the performance. Let me worry about the money.
Did you really?
Yep. If we keep getting knocked out in Q1, you're not going to be around much longer. So you just worry about the performance.
And did you?
So I thought, okay, that's pretty clear.
Yeah. Thanks for the clarity.
That was after like 3 races with him.
Did you enjoy him as your boss?
Great. Absolutely great. He let me. So when I had that, I thought, okay, well, I better do some stuff here. And one of the first guys I hired was Andy Green, who I worked with. He's brilliant. And Andy Green started turning things around, and then I hired some more people. Mm-hmm. And then when Bridgestone left, I thought to myself, man, there must be some good tire engineers at Bridgestone who you worked with.
Yeah.
So let me hire the best. So I got them in, increased our aero group. The biggest pushback I got from my aero group was wanting to go to the Toyota tunnel. And they had some kind of, they were wedded to that old Jordan tunnel that was a 50%, didn't have an MTS rolling road. And it's because they did so much work to improve it, because it started life as a 30% tunnel. Mm-hmm. And then it made it to 50%. And they did all that. So it was like their baby. And for me to come in fresh and say, why are we using this piece of shit when Toyota has a 60% tunnel, MTS rolling road, at the time, nearly state of the art? I said, and it's available. Just go use it. I got so much pushback. So one time I had to say, I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
We're going to Toyota.
We're going to use it.
You get better correlation. So we did all sorts of stuff. And then with that all sorts of stuff came performance.
Yep.
And VJ let us do whatever we wanted.
Did you have that sort of freedom?
Well, first of all, that tunnel, we just described it as a piece of shit. It was a piece of shit when I was there in the 90s.
But that started life, I think, as a Southampton thing that Eddie put on the back of a lorry and bought it for, I don't know, a few Guinnesses, and then and then installed
sound like
it.
Eddie doing a deal like that, and then expecting you to respond.
Anyway,
yes, to the point. Freedom. I think if you go into a new team and you're brought into that team in whatever capacity, in a senior capacity, you have to be given freedom, right? But I think Otmar makes a really good point there. Sometimes, and I got this when I went to Williams, I would quite often ask a rhetorical question like, why do we do it like this? The same as like, why are we using this tunnel? And the answer that comes back was not always, but quite a lot of the time in a roundabout way, because we've always done it like this, right? And you think to yourself, well, you haven't answered the question. You haven't given me an objective answer for that. And sometimes you just have to say, we're not going to do it like that anymore. We're going to do it like this. And there's all sorts of work, but that's leadership, right? Yeah. That's understanding and backing yourself, and not just yourself, having like good objective data that tells you that you need to go in a certain direction. So I think if you go into a new team, or it's a team like Force India that was in a growth period, team like Williams, which was, gone through many years of doldrums, you have to make changes. Otherwise, what are you doing? And it can't be incremental as well. Sometimes you just got to break things. You got to rip the road up to get it right.
Same inputs, same process.
Yeah,
and
same outputs.
You expect different outputs. I think Einstein said that's the definition of insanity. Which is true. So don't be surprised. Same input, same process. Don't be surprised if the outputs are the same.
Yeah, 100%.
So if the inputs are this, you got to change the process if you want the outputs to be a bit better.
Here's a question then. Which team this year has started this year and will be most effed off with their performance level and where they're at?
Aston Martin.
Slower than an F2 car around Miami.
Not that. I think it's because the expectations and what they told the world was much higher.
Yeah.
New tunnel, new campus, Adrian Newey. And for years, they were saying, you wait till 2026.
By the way, we should send our love to Adrian. who hasn't been very well, as has been reported.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sending him
Yes.
lots of love and hoping he...
I've got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
And we wish him well.
Yeah. So you think they're the most unhappy with where they're at?
And Williams are going to be unhappy, right?
I'm surprised by Williams, man.
Williams
I really
have talked a lot about 2026.
What did James Vowles say? Break everything. It's not about 2025. It's all about 2026.
Yeah.
You know what that teaches you? Don't try to predict the future.
Yeah. Humility.
After you win, then you can blow your trumpet all you want. But it's hard to predict the future.
It's very hard to forecast because, you've got no idea what's going to happen in 3-4 years' time, right? It's hard enough to predict what's, you can put in place. Formula One should be about long-term strategy, right? You shouldn't just be trying to, any team that is looking for lap time next weekend, they're lost, right? So how do you find lap time? You build it over here with your long-term strategy years out, right? And then those things start to fall into place. And sometimes you've got to go backwards before you go forward. So yes, Formula One should be about long-term strategy, especially the technical stratagem and planning. But trying to predict where you're going to be when you've got 10 or 11, 9 or 10 now, very capable, very competent groups of women and men all fighting against you.
It's hard enough to predict what you're going to do.
Yeah.
There's no way you can predict what the other 10 are going to do.
No way.
And it's a relative game.
Yep.
What was your approach to telling the world what you were going to achieve?
Say nothing, and once you've achieved it, say,
then tell everyone.
Tell everyone. Just say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
For you to be able to predict in an environment that is hard how you're going to do relative to the others, impossible. Do it, and then talk about it.
I'm really interested in what you think will be going on in Mercedes. You've already started this conversation about Canada by saying you think it's a crucial... I get the sense you think this is a crucial weekend for George Russell.
I just think he'll go well there. No, look.
But if he doesn't, you think it's a...
It's not over if he doesn't. There's a lot more races to come. But the reason I say that is I think, and I'm trying to predict the future here, I just said you shouldn't. But I think their upgrades that they'll bring will see them relatively stronger to the rest than they were in Miami because they will have their upgrades. And if I'm right in saying that, then the competition to look out for there is George versus Kimi, more so than Kimi and George versus a McLaren or Kimi and George versus a Ferrari, if they take that step. That's all I'm saying.
Is there a chance, though, that these upgrades for Mercedes don't deliver? Because obviously Ferraris didn't.
Yeah,
they don't know these cars at all well.
No,
and actually, if you look
chance.
at the last couple of seasons, Mercedes upgrades haven't delivered instant lap time often. They've brought them and then they've had to fiddle and play with them a little bit for a couple of races.
That was in an era of ground effects.
Yeah.
The floor was everything. And for whatever reason, Mercedes never got on with that new floor regulation period, right? So, they had some correlation issues. And I remember talking with the Mercedes technical team when I was there. And I was surprised at how few people they had in their aero performance group, which is all about correlation. And that was because they had great correlation. All the upgrades they brought pre the
ground effect
regulations worked. So they didn't need them. Now suddenly, not so good correlation. Remember all the bouncing and the porpoising? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Right? So now they're trying to fix that and it doesn't correlate. They've increased their APG group significantly. Mm-hmm. So I think their simulation tools are better now, and I think they will have a better chance of actually putting upgrades on the car that work.
Yeah. I think that's a good point. But you can never. Can you ever be sure that the upgrades that you bring? Don't forget, this is their first major package that they've brought, so they haven't been through a full correlation cycle yet.
Yeah. You're right.
So
could be surprised.
Could be a surprise. But I would say the knocking bet is that.
So I remember same tunnel, but I think they fixed it. And this is when I was at British America or at
Are you still
Honda.
talking about the Toyota wind tunnel?
No, this is a Mercedes tunnel, but it was owned by Honda.
Yeah.
And I remember bringing upgrades, and they did nothing. And the Aero boys were like, man, that was a half a second in the tunnel. It's 15 points. And I remember John Button saying, too bad we're not racing tunnels. Because if we were, we'd be winning. We're actually racing cars.
That sounds like a John Button line.
It does sound like John.
Too bad we're not racing tunnels.
Are you still in touch with many people at Ferrari?
Yeah.
Have you spoke to them since Miami?
Yes, I spoke to a couple of guys.
And what are they saying? How are they feeling after those 11 upgrades that seemed to do nothing for them?
It's what I talked about with Mercedes, really, is that if you bring a whole package, some of it will work and some of it doesn't. I think the problem is that you've then, where their head's been at post-Miami is what has worked and what hasn't. And they think that, together it delivered, but it just didn't deliver at the level that they expected it to. So it didn't make the step forward. So then you got to...
But the tunnel said it should.
But the tunnel said it should. So then you got to start looking at it and saying, well, there is a net gain effect. Okay, it wasn't anywhere near. So have we put parts on that are making the car slower?
Which ones?
But Canada is a good one for finding cars out as well. I think it's a really good one for testing the car aerodynamically. It's a great one for the power unit. And it's a great one for the mechanical car as well.
Brakes.
Very, very, brakes. Really, really tough on brakes. And every year, we were talking about this before the show, every year, cars run out of brakes.
Yeah. You think, didn't we race here last year?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. How did that happen?
So why is that then? Because you know what happened last year. You have all the data.
But you're trying to optimize the whole thing. You don't want too big a brake ducts. You've got to worry about the tire and how you get that in. And there's all sorts of optimizations that go on.
Have you moved your microphone?
Yeah, because I moved up.
Suddenly I can't see your face.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, that's a
better.
beautiful face. I need to
Thank
see
you very
that
much.
face.
Travesty, we couldn't see you.
Travesty of justice.
So it's always about pushing the edge, all about finding the boundaries, which is why it's a real challenge for brakes.
Yeah.
So are you every race at Canada really edgy on brakes, thinking you might not make it
every
to the
year. Every year.
Yeah, but that is just the art of Formula One engineering, right? So you wouldn't put something with a massive margin in there. You could fit the harder brake material. You could fit that the drivers never like, by the way.
Why not?
Lasts longer. Less feel.
It's less feel. You get less less bite, less mew.
Yeah.
So you don't
and a place where braking's important.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So that's kind of, they never want to do that. And then you can fit the bigger brake ducts and you can have more cooling. But if you do that, that's probably worse for aerodynamics. It will be points of downforce that you lose or points of drag that you increase. And then to Otmar's other point is the fact that, it's trying to get tire temperature in tire. So tire temperature and Monaco Canada are not friends. Because the surface, the asphalt, the macro and the micro roughness, the surface of the track is very smooth, if you like. There's not many big corners where you can create a lot of energy, and there's lots of long straights. So it means that even when you bring a very soft tyre there, it's difficult to get it into the window for qualifying, which is why you always see these games. I think we'll see that this year, depending on the compound, where sometimes you need to do like one warm-up lap and then one push lap in quali, or push, cool, push, or whatever it is. You see all these different strategies coming out. So that's why you've got this nightmare of trying to optimize for the race, optimize under safety car for tire temperatures, because there's invariably safety cars there because of the Wall of Champions and other walls, but try to get to the end of the race with the brakes as well. And there's so many races that I've been involved where we're about, so we'll sit there and we'll all decide on a Friday night, and then we'll check again on Saturday morning that we're all happy and we're going to get to the end of the race, and we get 12 laps in, and one of the engineers in the back goes, we're going to have to start lifting and coasting because we're going to run out of brakes. You go, for fuck's sake. What? What?
Yeah. right when you're trying to defend. Yeah. Lift and coast. Oh, there goes our position.
When you're watching the races now, who are you still supporting Ferrari over anyone else? Or do you have a soft spot for another team? And who is it for you? Harder for you because...
It's a good question.
It's now Aston Martin, and I would imagine that you probably are not in love with...
No. I wish they were doing better. I still, there's still people there that I hired, and I wish them the best of luck. I wish they were closer to the front. But
is there no part of you that looks at that and thinks,
Schadenfreude? No.
If you'd have kept the boss, you could be further up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can see mistakes from a managerial perspective that I think, without patting myself on the back or sounding too arrogant, wouldn't have made. I know I wouldn't have made some of those mistakes, and they've cost them lap time. But, they have good people. Adrian is, the best of our generation, actually.
Yep.
And he's there. And Honda have won a lot, and they're there. And so hopefully they can get it together. Yeah, I not because they're winning, but I cheer for Mercedes and what Toto's done. And,
Why?
Because of his leadership style. I think his leadership style is one that I would employ and one that you would want to be successful.
Yeah, I would agree with Otmar. I think that his leadership, Toto's leadership, has been great, and he's a character as well, right? He's a character. That
he's a racer too, right?
Yeah,
so nearly killed himself on
Nürburgring.
Yeah. So there's something to be said for people in our sport that have sat in a car at high risk to their own life because they love the sport so much.
Yeah. And Toto is one of them.
Toto's one of them.
I like that you don't see Toto on the top step of the podium much when they win races. He's always sending other people up.
I won one race in Formula One. One. And for Toto, it's easy because he's won so many. He could say, next time I'm going, or I've gone already.
Yeah.
I've won one race. I sent Andy Stevenson, the longest standing Jordan employee.
Yeah, but that's classy, right? I mean, Jean used to do
that.
Jean used to do that at Ferrari. I think that's good as well. Like, we all used to get up on the podium. I think that's important. I mean, when you say
but again, though, Jean was winning a lot of races and had won world titles. It is. I do think it's different for Otmar to have your first win.
I knew Steve-O had never been up there.
Yeah.
He was...
How badly did you want to send yourself up and experience that?
It's not that it didn't cross my mind. But then I thought, you know what? He deserves it more than I do. He's been here longer, slugged his guts out, had to work with Eddie. I avoided all that.
But I bet now you're glad you did it.
Get out of jail free.
I am. Yep. Sergio Perez in Bahrain, last to first.
What a drive.
He's a good driver, Sergio.
We're going to talk about him in just a moment. Do you know how many years it's been since Ferrari won the world title, either drivers or constructors?
Well, it was 2008.
Mate.
Just
18 years.
Is that Kimi Räikkönen?
When I was
yeah.
just for the record.
So, Ferrari last won the world title when Rob Smedley was there. It wasn't his driver, but...
Yeah, but you helped, right?
No, what are we talking about? We're talking about drivers
it's
or
19 years since drivers and 18 years since
19 years.
So Kimi in 07 was the last time Ferrari won as a driver.
Kimi in 07.
Team in 08.
Felipe moved over in Brazil to let him through. We were cantering away. But that was fine. That was all pre-planned. So we moved over. Or Felipe moved over. And then 08... we lost the Drivers' World Championship by 1 point, but won the Constructors' Championship. So, 16 years.
18 years.
18 years. Thanks.
I thought maths was your strong point, but...
Now, you're starting to sound like my mother.
No glasses.
Oh.
So and you've been wearing glasses like me, you'd be...
I would have been better with division.
Division. Not addition, though, so it wouldn't have helped. Or subtraction.
I just the reason why I mention that is I just wonder what the real belief is like in Ferrari that they can win the world title this season?
This season?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what? The further away you are from winning world titles, the harder it becomes. That's why when you saw the resurgence of Red Bull from 2021, we're probably now going to see a resurgence of Mercedes because they've still got it's not too distant, the knowledge of how to do it. When you've got there'll be 10%, 5% of the Ferrari team who were there when we were knocking it out the park, right? So those guys, they understand how to win world championships. They understand,
know what it takes,
know the whole psychology of the season, and the tricks of the trade, if you like. When you got a bunch of guys that have only ever won, one or two races, it becomes more difficult. It's like winning a football championship, right? You can win a couple of matches. You might be mid-table and beat Arsenal, but you're not going to win the actual league. And it's the same with F1. It's relentless and it's hard. And when you've got a bunch of guys that they know how to do it, a bunch of men and women that they know how to do it and they can continue to do it, that makes a big difference. So, and I think when you start, when you're in the position of Ferrari now, or any team that hasn't won it for a long, long time, the self-belief is not high. There's too much self-doubt. However much you talk externally about, we think we can win this and we think we can win world titles or whatever, you only need that 2-3% of self-doubt, to exist within your organization, and you won't do it. When you've got teams that win it year on year, you don't become entitled, but you become much more confident, and you don't have any, the self-doubt is a good thing because it drives you on to be better, but it's not self-doubting as, I don't think we can actually do this. I don't think we know how to do this. That's where they're at.
I love three things in Formula One: Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton and Williams. And Williams had a bad start to the season. Fernando's had an horrendous start to the season. And I really was hoping that Lewis Hamilton would win a much-deserved 8th world title this season. I don't think he will he?
I don't.
You've seen the talk about him retiring at Silverstone. Have you got?
No, I didn't see that. No, he shouldn't retire.
Just rumours, I hope.
No, he shouldn't retire. No.
Why not?
What do you mean, like retire, like stop altogether?
Yeah.
Because I think
I think they're just running out of stories to talk about.
Yeah, he still has it in him. He could still win the world title. But gun to your head, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger if you're wrong. Would you say Lewis Hamilton was going to win the world title this year?
Absolutely not, no.
Okay, you saved your life.
Who do you think will win the world title?
Yeah, because didn't
gun
you?
to my head?
Yeah.
George Russell.
Okay, we said that, didn't we? Yeah. And I think
I still haven't changed my mind.
We've both gone long on George this year, down the bookmakers.
Bet the house.
Yeah, I didn't bet the house.
You still back George for
Bet
this
the
season?
shed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet the shed.
What about if George doesn't win in Canada and Kimi does? Would you be sitting here in a week's time saying you still?
Well,
think
why
George will win the world
don't
title?
we jump off that bridge when we get to it? Let's see what happens in Canada instead of trying to predict.
Who do you think wins the Canadian Grand Prix?
George Russell.
Yeah, I'm going to go for George because he was very good there last year, and has been in the last few years as well.
Before we move on to talk Sergio Perez,
and I do think that he's not comfortable in Miami.
yes,
He wasn't comfortable in Miami. We said this on the last show. I do think we're now going to a circuit where he is comfortable.
with the Wall of Champions
Yep.
in Canada. And
Yep.
for those of you that are not familiar with the Wall of Champions, it's the final chicane on the circuit. It's a high-speed chicane. It has a habit of sucking the best drivers into that wall, hence Wall of Champions.
2 per weekend.
Yeah, a lot of champions.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. On average.
With the change in regs and the drivers trying to understand these cars every single race and this amazing engineering and driving challenge, are we going to see cars in that wall more, do you think?
I think the probability is probably higher to see cars in the wall. They're more tricky to drive. We just talked about it.
They're trickier to predict.
Yeah, they're tricky to predict. So Otmar, I'm sure you talked to drivers. I've talked to drivers. You were just saying earlier that you talked to a driver
who wants his right foot to predict what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is quite important at the Wall of Champions.
It's and that's a really tricky corner, right? Because it's kind of like medium speed, like turning in on the brakes, flicking right. You invariably get understeer on the exit, right? At some point in the corner, you get understeer, and then when you're back on the gas, you've just got a little bit wrong. You'll be in the wall, right? Now, if you don't if you can't predict 100% what's going on under your right foot, it's even more tricky.
And Montreal it's geographically located between like Quebec and Toronto, so they speak both French and English there at the same time. Have you noticed?
It's
a weird thing.
Accent, right? Is that a strange
Hello,
accent?
bonjour.
Am I going to get cancelled by the Montrealians?
No, but I'm just thinking, is that the Wall of Champions? Or is it the Wall of Champignons?
Is a champignon not a mushroom?
It's a mushroom.
Why would it be a wall of mushroom?
Wall of champignon.
I'm leaving.
I think
I'll
it's
get
a
my
wall
coat.
of champignons. Well, we should go ask when we're there.
But wouldn't it be the French
word
version
for
of
champions?
champion?
What is the French word for champions?
Look it up.
Champignon, is it?
No,
Oh, is that
that's
mushroom?
mushroom.
Oh, okay.
Fucking mushroom.
Hold on, let me find the French word for champions.
The wall.
Oh
of
my God, the wall
fungi.
of champignon.
Champignon, fungi in Italian.
The
Il
French
moretto
translation for
dei
champions is
Degli funghi.
champignon.
No, it's not fucking
it's not.
champion.
Champion.
Oh, champion.
Yeah, not
What the
champignon.
hell's the difference?
You said the wall of champignon. You meant the wall of champignon.
What's
That's
the
good.
difference?
Champignon is a mushroom.
And champion?
Is French for champion.
Champignon.
They're the same to me. So when I go there and I order a pizza,
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
do I get it with champions or
Oh.
champions?
Champignon.
Okay.
There I am. I'm telling everyone I know, oh, we've got this new Formula One podcast. It's like the most in-depth, like genuine podcast about Formula One legendary stories, two people that have been in the know. They're going to tune in and be like, is that the one where that you were talking about the wall of mushrooms? I'll be like, yeah, that's the show.
Right, let's see what happens. See how many mushrooms hit that wall of champions.
Yeah.
Right. Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
I really want to talk about Sergio. He's back in Formula One. He's had a year out, a year to reflect. He's in Cadillac. Before we talk about this season, I'd love both of you to reflect on times that you had run-ins with him in a positive or a negative way. I suppose my question for you, Otmar, what did you find was the thing that you could do to get the very best out of him as a driver?
There is this belief that Latin drivers don't work as hard as non-Latin drivers. Oh, we got to make sure he's fit. I don't know how much he goes to the gym, blah, blah, blah. Sergio was so motivated. He worked and worked. And I remember Sergio coming to the team and saying to me, I'm going to beat Nico Hülkenberg. And I thought, good luck. Good luck. And as it turned out, they learned from each other. So Nico's strength was qualifying. One lap, he was amazing. And in this era of Pirelli tires, his weakness was protecting the rears, right? So Sergio's strength was protecting the rears. I think it just came naturally for him.
Mm-hmm.
That right foot, the steering angle, knowing when to get on the power so that you don't get too much lateral G in the tire and you protect it.
Yeah.
And Hülkenberg learned from Sergio how to do that a bit, and Sergio learned from Hülkenberg how to qualify. And then Sergio said, next year I'm going to beat him. It went down to the wire, and he beat him on points. And I thought, good on you. He's
What
a
year
good
was that?
peddler. 15, I want to say. I don't
Right.
know. Let me look back.
He's very good in the race, right? He's always
Very good
been
because of
very
his
good. Yeah.
A, tire management,
Yeah.
and B, he was never in a top team in the lower formulas. So for him to do well, he would need to overtake.
Yeah.
And he was great at overtaking, always good in the race, and conserved his tires very, very well. Great guy.
Yeah.
And I remember Bob Fernley wanting Maldonado because he came with
a lot of money.
Well, yeah, 40 million reasons Bob wanted Maldonado.
Would he bring that amount of money, Maldonado?
He did.
PDVSA.
Yeah.
40 million quid.
And he was a race winner at the time.
Yeah.
From Williams.
Like when you say Maldonado would bring 40 million quid, is that like
dollars?
$40 million?
Bucks, the other quid.
But is that for like a 3 or 4 year deal?
No, per year. Per year. And this is at a time where we kind of needed the money.
Oil money.
A lot of money.
$40 million a year to drive for your team is what Maldonado would bring.
And I kept saying to VJ.
Is that the most of anyone?
Probably. It's got to be up there. I don't know who else.
It's very high.
Yeah.
Very high for a single seat.
And he won. He was a race winner. He's not a slouch.
2012. So that must have been 2013.
No, 2012.
No, 2012 he won.
Oh, yeah,
13.
Sorry, yeah.
2013.
Because Sergio didn't sign his McLaren contract. They then signed somebody else. Was it Sergio?
Maybe Magnussen.
I think Magnussen was out of a drive.
Yeah.
And then we had a choice.
Would Sergio have been taking money to McLaren?
Yes, but not to that level.
Right. But would Magnussen? No.
No.
Right.
But McLaren didn't care about the money. We at Force India cared a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I ultimately cared about in-car performance. And I remember saying to VJ, we got to take Sergio.
Mm-hmm.
Look how good he is. He's given, towards the end of that season, he was giving Jensen a really hard time and sometimes beating him. And here's Jensen, world champion, and Sergio's up there with him. I said, you got to take Sergio. VJ eventually agreed with me, and we took Sergio.
Can you not, though, look at $40 million and go, Sergio is 0.2 faster on average, but $40 million buys us 0.4 of speed? Is there not that equation to do?
There is that equation to do, but it's just amazing how 0.2 in a driver motivates the whole team, more so than 40 million that you spend in the tunnel. Am I right?
Yeah, totally. I think if you get the driver is always I don't want to call it the final jigsaw puzzle, but it's always that key piece in getting the team to believe in themselves. We just talked about the team believing themselves. It just motivates the whole team when you put a top driver in there, and that top driver also wants to come to, or a better driver, and they want to come to your team and work with you all. Makes you feel motivated, definitely.
More so than the 40 million bucks in the tunnel. Yeah, it definitely important, especially when you don't have it and you think, bah.
Yeah.
The one thing and I couldn't believe this when I got to Force India, we didn't have much money at all. And they would skimp on things like resin for the SLA machines.
What's an SLA machine?
Stereolithography. It's
a rapid prototype machine.
Yeah, it's
you can make things really quickly.
Yeah, it's a 3D printer for parts. And if your 3D printers weren't printing, and you mainly printed wind tunnel parts with those things, not parts for the real car. Now we're starving the wind tunnel of parts that should make the car go faster, and doing the experiments in the tunnel to confirm that it will make the part. We're starving our development. And I kept saying, this is all wrong. You can't starve the learning. Even if you don't make that part in full size to put on the car because you don't have the money, you can't starve the learning.
No. But why were they doing that?
Because they're trying to save money.
Oh, okay.
And the thinking was wrong.
Yeah.
I'd rather have money to, when I do get a development, to put it on the car. And I said, forget that. Never stop the learning. If we suddenly do get the money, then what you're putting on the car is actually a huge gap from where you started. So one of the first things I've changed when I was there.
What were you going to tell us about Sergio?
Well, I first come across Sergio when he was very young, when he was just first into Formula One, and he was in Sauber, and we had and Sauber had the Ferrari engine, so he used to come to our place.
You had a collaboration with him.
Yep, that's right. And he used to come to our place and do simulator. And I didn't really know him very well to start off with. And I used to say to the guys, "Oh, what's he like? Is he?" And all the guys, all the simulator guys, used to say, he is, because he's a gent, right? He's a really nice guy. But also, he's really handy. And we saw that in Sauber, like towards, I can't remember what
He's
season.
quick.
Yeah, he's very quick. But also, he was a very hard worker. He used to come with a really big work ethic and just massively enthusiastic about the whole thing, quite infectious. And I was just to stop and chat with him, when I went on, he kind of went to McLaren, then to Force India. And I always, I haven't seen him for a long time, since he was in Red Bull, but I always used to stop and chat with him. Really nice guy.
Great guy.
Really good guy. And I remember a good story, actually. We were in Canada, and I don't know what year this was. It must have been 14 and 15, and our two cars come together. Do you remember the Williams and the...
I remember. That was Massa and Force India.
Yeah.
And we got penalized, which we shouldn't have done.
And Force India, and it was Checo, and Checo moved under braking, so they clearly should have got penalized,
No.
right?
Absolutely not. He had to move under braking because there was a corner there. You can't go straight.
Anyway, so what happened was, we'll let the stewards decide this one. So we went to the stewards, and we went to stewards eating, and Steve-O was there. Andy Stevenson came with Checo, and I went with Felipe. And
which biased stewards were they?
They were
Which biased?
ridiculous. Anyway, so we went there.
Do you genuinely believe that it was the wrong decision? And you go on. Yeah, no, finish your story. Sorry, finish your story.
I did because this is about Checo before. So I was obviously very well prepared for this, right? And
Steve-O wasn't. That louse.
He is. He's Andy Stevenson. You are lazy by your ex-boss.
What does being well prepared for it mean?
Oh, he just went with like tons of like.
I mean,
tons of paperwork. We showed like how we'd moved under braking. We showed where we were like alongside and how we wasn't allowed to move. Blah blah.
Everything they can to fuck your driver.
So everything. So we were perfectly prepared. And of course, Otmar's team, they turned up bit of a ramshackle. Not quite used to the big time like we were. Anyway, so we and as we come out.
It's for a podium,
I thought it was for a podium, and neither of us ended up on the podium. Both of us ended up with no wheels on the car, right?
Yeah, because Massa hit us, but
fucking huge accident. Anyway, as we come out, it's a little bit like there's a little bit of animosity in the room, and then as we walked out and we were walking down the stairs, Checo, he's such a gent, and he turned around to me and he went, "You are very good at this." Like, give me a wink.
Did he? Because he got reported in the paper that you and Sergio had a row over it and fallen out over it.
No, we didn't have a row. I think I was quite vocal afterwards that because what happened was, let me jog my memory here. They were telling Checo that there was some radio messages telling Sergio that there was some problem with the car or something like that. I can't remember exactly what happened. I can't remember.
Autosport. Rob Smedley and Sergio Perez in row over Canadian Grand Prix action.
Get in there.
Williams believes Force India was irresponsible not to retire Sergio Perez before his crash with Felipe Massa, a charge Perez has slammed as misguided.
Irresponsible when you're about to finish on the podium. No way.
We were
racing.
We probably would have. I think
racing.
We would have passed Checo easy had he not moved under braking.
You know why he moved? Because the track wasn't straight there. You had to move, otherwise you went off.
So if we look at I'm going to drag out all of the evidence that we took.
We should drag out just the video clip. When we do the shorts.
Yeah,
let's do a short with the video clip of that, and let.
Otmar's now producing the social content as well, guys.
Let the fans decide.
let the people decide.
Exactly.
Can you buy the rights then to the Formula One content?
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, we don't own that.
We don't own that.
That's a shame.
Don't we own the content of our own cars?
Sadly not.
No, boy.
But it's good to know you're not bitter about what happened in Canada and you're not bearing a grudge or still carrying it all these years later.
We should have finished on the podium there, but at least anyway.
Only because you wanted to go up on the podium.
Here
we go. 2014, Massa versus Perez. Probably you at home. That's just an advert. You at home won't be able to see this because we don't have the rights for you to see it. But you two in the studio can watch it.
No, but at home,
we go.
They can bring it
They
up.
They can. Come on, you daft thing. All the angles.
2014.
Massa versus Perez.
Goes into the... Even Crofty said it was your fault.
Oh my God,
Crofty would have
it
been
literally
up,
looked like Massa just drove into him there. That was a massive crash.
So
That was a
slow,
big.
slow,
Watch. See? Did he move?
Yeah, but look where the corner was. He moved like that every lap.
Dude, the track got bent round to the right. Why is he coming?
Every lap he did the same thing, and Massa had been following him for 5 laps.
Anyway,
He
as
knew it was gonna happen.
always. So
Anyway, yeah.
Otmar
So here's
and
the onboards, here's the onboards.
Here we are. Watch him move. Watch him move to the left. Did you see it? Anyway,
That's a horrible accident.
as all we
I want to
could
see
do-
the onboard of your car.
Okay.
Watch. He moves the steering.
Watch his steering. Watch his steering. Doesn't move. He was hit. Watch the steering. He doesn't move it.
Because he
doesn't
didn't
move it.
move because hang on, you said he moved under braking. Because
He watched the
the lap
steering wheel.
before, if you watch the lap before,
I tell you, I'm going to call Steve-O after this.
he goes
screwed
well.
this up.
Steve-O was in the briefing with
You
me.
made me turn this off. Jesus Christ.
We could have rung him now.
So basically, the lap before, he follows the track as would be the norm. Humphreys,
Humphreys, he did the same
Yeah.
thing lap after lap.
and he
after
didn't.
lap.
Honestly, he didn't.
But
I think
We
Massa,
should get. I tell you, who
it
the steward
looks
was.
like
It looks like Massa had like something in his eye, and he went to rub it.
it looks like does look like Checo goes to the left slightly,
Oi.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
On the outboard, right?
We can only
Which
allow
makes
the
no
steward.
sense because it's a left-hand turn, so he wouldn't have been doing that. On the onboard,
He doesn't move his hands.
the steering wheel, I'd say, and I'm impartial here, by the way. I don't think Checo's steering does this on the
At all.
On the
Only after
onboard.
he's hit. Only after he's hit.
Do you
Well,
really,
we-
honestly?
Well, we can only we must must allow the stewards to decide, and the stewards decided in our favour.
do you think? Do you think
they always make the right
Massa would have
decision?
made the corner?
I think the stewards always make
would
great
Massa have
decisions.
made the corner at that speed?
Yeah, of course he would have done.
way.
You know that.
He was coming at a rate.
No.
They
He
do
wouldn't
that
have
in
been
Formula
able
One cars.
They
do
had
it.
brakes.
That's
They
where-
usually do that.
Last lap, Canadian Grand Prix, he would have run out of brakes. Lucky Sergio was there for him to hit.
There you go.
If you
the
hadn't
real
been hit, would you
story.
have finished? Where would you have finished if you hadn't been hit?
On the podium.
Podium, he
my
was third.
God.
Fucking
And
third.
who was
One lap
in
to go.
second?
And
Because
that was
we were
GP telling him.
who was in second? Because I reckon we would have caught them and passed them as well. We would have been second.
I don't know.
Why were you so quick at that point in the race?
We had a quick car.
Nearly as
We were
quick
always
as ours.
quick.
We were ahead of him.
I love the
We were
fact you
third in
still
the World
can't agree.
Championship.
I love the fact that it literally doesn't matter anymore. It was 12 years ago and you still can't agree.
That
We were
was
screwed.
we were third in the World Championship that year.
And my other,
Yeah.
Tom
You were good
Christensen,
wherever you were, man.
Tom Christensen, who was the steward. Tom Christensen. How many times has he won Le Mans?
yeah,
900.
Mr. Audi.
yeah.
He was the steward, and he decided. Tom,
Yeah.
top guy, right decision.
Yeah. Won Le Mans loads of times, never won Canada.
Sergio Perez is coming on High Performance soon.
Is he?
And I'm going to ask him.
Yeah. Did you move? Just ask him
Yeah.
one question. Did you move under braking?
Well, you got to have Massa on as well. You got to have Felipe on. Otherwise, it's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Let's get them. Should get them both on.
Yeah,
Good idea.
fighting there.
Yeah. Wrestling.
Just bringing it up to the current day before we wrap up this amazing conversation. Do you like the fact that Cadillac went with 2 older drivers, but
Yes.
2 race-winning drivers?
Yes, emphatically yes.
And
yes,
ironically, both won about same amount of races?
probably.
Yeah.
Just wonder whether they're loving it, though. I was watching them in Miami and I thought, if they both got children, has Valtteri got kids?
No.
No,
Sergio's got enough for both of them.
Sergio's got plenty. I just think, like, at the age you're both at, when you've won races and you've done what you've done, is it really thrilling still to fly around the world, loads of time away from your family and friends?
yeah,
saw
but
him
it's
driving
different
around
for
in
him
the
now.
back like
He had
that.
his kids in Miami with him. Probably because it's close to Mexico.
It's different for them now, isn't it? It's a project that they can both, they both know that this is, unless there's some miracle, this is their last gig in Formula One. But they can play a part in helping this team move forward. So they both, I haven't talked extensively to Sergio about it. I've talked to Valtteri about it, and he feels, it's very much part of this is a project. I want to be part of it. I don't want to say like benevolence, because like Formula One drivers are not great at that, by the way. But at least like be part of something bigger, not just like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? How do I win races? How do I win world championships? This is like, you win in a different way.
Are they young enough to springboard into another team from Cadillac? Or is this it for them?
I think this is.
Oh, sorry, you should be asking these questions.
No, it's a good question. I wouldn't think of a question that good, so.
Of course you would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this
I don't know, mate. I think this probably for the pair of them is. But
Sergio did actually say, didn't he? This is my final big project. He's publicly said that.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
He didn't mean it.
You don't think so?
I mean, something can happen, right?
Do you think he still has a desire to do well in Cadillac, show what he's worth, and get a move to a fast team? Yeah.
You reckon?
I think so.
You think so, or you know so?
I think so. You'll have to ask him.
Have you asked him?
Right.
You have asked.
I think so.
You have asked him.
No,
but that's okay for him to still be ambitious.
I think he will be happy to make Cadillac great, for sure. But what if it takes a little bit longer than Sergio's got left in him, and another team comes and says, hey, we want you to, then what do you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, he's like I just talked about, Formula One drivers aren't great at benevolence. So if one of the top teams turned around for whatever reason, and he'd have to be performing and said, hey, Sergio,
or a mid-grid
come
team.
and help us. Yeah. And he thinks that there's more in it for him, he'll do it. All drivers would. They're athletes. They only have a short shelf life, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Let's say you've got a choice between Ollie Behrman, who is looking excellent again this season and looks like a real talent, and Sergio, right? And you're one of the top teams and you're looking for someone for next year. Has Sergio not been damaged by what happened at Red Bull?
His last season there, a bit of damage. But at Cadillac, say you significantly beat Valtteri, who I think is an outstanding racing car driver, won races, sometimes in that Mercedes is good, if not better than Lewis at the time. Then the question is, would somebody look at him? And not versus an Ollie Behrman, but maybe versus somebody else.
I think what we should talk about is that it's a clever decision from Cadillac, right?
Definitely. They chose the right to, from my perspective.
Totally. You cannot have, so you've got to have an experienced driver. It would be like outrageous to pick two rookies, because the whole thing is,
and you're lost.
You just lost, right? But then you just pick one. There was a notion that, perhaps Brian Herter or someone like that would go into the seat.
Yeah, Colton.
And then, him as well. And then you pick, like, say, Valtteri or Checo. Then at that point, because both of them have been out of the car for a little bit, like, do you know whether they're performing or not? So I think having both of them there gives you a really good benchmark. It's a really solid benchmark for the team. And then you can just say, we're all right. The drivers are good, right? We know we've got two solid drivers. So we know where we are and we know where we need to work. So I think that was a demon move from Cadillac.
Right choice.
Is there not a temptation as a team boss, though, for next season to go, look, we've had the experience, we've had the benchmarking, we know where we're at. Oh, there's this really exciting young driver. Really driven, 21, 22, got that little bit of edge, doesn't bring any baggage. Maybe we don't need the Valtteri-Sergio partnership next season as well.
So contract.
Did you just recently watch the F1 movie or something?
Yeah.
Like last night?
Exactly.
On the tube here.
I just think that teams are always looking at the future. And someone at Cadillac will be like, is there a great young driven American driver we can put in this car, please?
Colton Herta
That's what they're doing, isn't it?
Yeah, at High Tech in F2.
In F2.
Learning the circuit.
How is he getting on?
So I talked to Ollie Oaks, who said he's proper quick. So, but I think
we
he's
sort
still
of knew
learning.
that Colton Herta was proper quick.
Yeah, but Ollie compares him to other proper quick F2 drivers that he's had, right?
Right.
So the basis of comparison is different. So for Ollie to say that, I believe him. And Ollie knows his onions. He was karting world champion, I think.
Yeah, and he's
himself.
run
high tech,
hundreds of
quick
young,
drivers.
good drivers.
Yeah, he knows who they are.
I felt sorry for him what happened in F1. That was a good example of how brutal Formula One can be. What happened to Ollie Oaks, wasn't it? I think we're out of time, guys.
Oh,
But not before.
This isn't a joke. There's a true story. So
another one, like the snails.
I've got...
The great thing is when you've lived the life that you've lived, you don't actually need jokes. You just need to tell the true stories from your life. And they're as good as dad jokes.
So in our Cornwall place,
Here we go.
I've got...
House number 7.
Man of the people. Man of
Next
the
week
people.
you'll tell us about his South
No.
France villa.
South. No, I have none of that. Rebecca, I'm not I shouldn't say I'm not a huge fan of Cornwall. I'm learning to enjoy it. But having grown up in...
Such a difficult place to enjoy.
having grown up in America, it was rare for us to go to the beach when it was 55 degrees Fahrenheit and raining.
Please, we're in London now.
Yeah, and having to put up those windbreakers just so you don't get blown away on the
breakers.
Geez. Anyway, so
what is 50? Can we just throw a UK
55?
audience?
That's like 10 degrees
Oh, is
C.
it?
Yeah,
10.
Okay.
10.
Cold, chilly.
Anyway, chilly. So
beach
maybe
weather.
12. 10,
Beach
12.
weather,
Yeah,
yeah.
beach
Beach
weather.
weather in
Cornwall beach
Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Whoa, that would be tropical, mate.
Anyway, so I wasn't quite used to cutting the grass there, and some of the stones chipped our sliding doors.
Oh, it's so annoying when the staff aren't available.
So I had to replace them because they're chipped.
Yeah.
And some
Criton.
Irish guy came and replaced them, and I couldn't believe
Cancelled.
his name.
Go on.
Paddy O'Doors.
It wasn't. It was not.
Yes, it was. What an aptronym.
No.
Yes,
No, it wasn't.
Paddy
Fucking
O'Doors.
out now lie.
I'm still not sure whether it's a true story or not.
Yeah. Can you believe aptronym? Paddy O'Doors.
I'm only ill during the week.
Why?
I think I've got a weakened immune system.
All yours take like 30 milliseconds to register.
Yeah. Well, those are the best dad jokes, right?
Yeah. I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
But now that you mention that, on my way down here, got off the tube.
The tube.
Yeah. And I was mugged by 6 dwarfs.
No way.
Not happy.
So mine, so mine might
Let me
be a
guess,
little
3
bit more.
nuns in a car.
No,
Yeah.
no more Catholic.
Let's a sweary religious joke from Rob for a change.
Yeah, no more
it go.
engineering stuff now, and it's really based on my obsession with Formula One engineering. So I used to be very obsessed, in fact, with the brake bias in the car, but I'm finding I've got a bit more balance now.
But that is a really engineering joke, isn't it? Oh, Rob, I've got a joke before we start the Grand Prix weekend.
And then I was asked to go and do a talk the other night on tyre degradation, but I found that the source material wore out.
Oh, I like that.
See what was logging
I
these.
like that.
He's got his phone out. He's
got
got his
one?
Apple Notes.
No. I got to tell my kids that one.
I love that. I just swallowed a load of Scrabble tiles. Next time I go to the toilet, it could spell a disaster. Yeah.
Let's finish on a high.
Right.
You can't wait to leave.
Yeah, right.
You told us you had a phone call to make. I think that's what you're worrying about now. aren't you?
Exactly. And that phone call was supposed to be at 6, and it's 6:15.
Oh, okay, right.
I got to call Goldman Sachs. Oh, no, that was you.
Whoa.
Definitely keep that in.
I'm the man of the people here.
Rob's busy pretending he's not a millionaire. Don't forget that. Guys, thank you very much. Another fascinating episode. Please tell your friends about the content. Tell your friends about the show. Hit subscribe. Hit follow. Otherwise, these two get angry, right?
Yeah, angry.
Very cross.
Angry
Do the follow thing.
Yeah, do the follow. There you go. That's the technical term. Do the follow thing. And can we just say, we love how many of
more
you...
things on my Instagram thing.
Oh, excuse me, PA. I'm the man of the people. Can you post something for me on my socials? To my 9 followers. But we're getting that up, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're about 12 followers now.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time for another episode of...
High performance
Racing.
racing.
That was shite. Why did you make us do that?
And it's amazing we knew what to do. But
I think it worked really well. What we need is to do like one word each. So that's
Go on
all.
and do it again. So high performance racing. I think that is going to elevate this show
right.
to like the next level.
Thanks very much for watching
high
Performance
Racing. No, come on, you can do better than that. Like just do the outro. So
Okay, guys, I love that. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time for another episode of
high
Performance
Racing.
Racing.
I was like
Nailed it.
smashy and nicey.
Nailed it.